from others. An audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned. Joined tonight by Jonathan Tessman. How are we doing tonight, John?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Hey, got a little sports question for you real quick. Who the hell is Paxton Lynch?
He was a 6'6" or 6'7" quarterback drafted by the Broncos, and I want to say right around 2013, somewhere around that area. And John Elway loved him, thought he was going to be the future of the franchise, and he was garbage.
Well, he's back in the headlines because he's going over to the USFL.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough to draw me to the USFL. I'm sorry, buddy. Like, I know you really want me there, but Paxton Lynch is not one. He's not going to be what gets me there.
He was drafted in the first round 2016, so he's still got a little
wow.
bit left.
Okay,
yeah.
a little bit longer or further along rather than I thought. I thought that he was a little bit older than that. I thought he was drafted closer to when Russell Wilson and Andrew Luck and RG3 went. I didn't realize it was 2016, but yeah, Paxton Lynch was pretty bad.
Dude, I'm behind it. I'm pulling for him. I'm hoping that this is his redemption moment.
I mean, he is a giant, John. He's probably 2-3 inches taller than you.
It says he's 6'7". Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what Elway likes. He likes those really tall quarterbacks. But the thing is, when you think back to quarterbacks of all time, not many of them are over 6'5". Mm-hmm. Just throwing that out there. I just want to make that point made. I know that most of them are over 6 feet tall, if not all of them, with the exception of maybe Russell Wilson and potentially Drew Brees, because there's been a little bit of discrepancy on what his height might be. But other than them, they're all between about 6'1" and 6'4". There is not a lot of 6'7" guys that are super quarterbacks in the NFL.
Which is interesting, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this whole move is all about. Him leaving the CFL to go over to USFL. I want to see Antonio Brown match up with him. That's all I can say.
Fair enough.
Come on, AB.
John. Some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the neighbors once again. I know we've done it before. We're going to do it again. We're going to talk about Dave and Buster's. Because, John, this is something near and dear to our hearts. And as always, we will be cracking a cold one with Kolbs.
Yes.
So, John, I don't want to dive into any of the major topics just yet. So I just want to pose a random question to you. Have you ever had a body pillow?
Yes, I have. The most weirdly genius invention of all time, but it was always something that I never used. It's always like too big for me.
Wait. So yeah, they're meant to be big. What do you mean too big for you, John? It's not meant to be under your head. It's meant to be across your body. I use body pillows, and I am much smaller than you.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people cuddle up on them like it's another human, and I get that. The thing,
it's a human that doesn't require like actual attention. You just get to like throw yourself on top of it.
Maybe because when I was younger, it just meant trauma, because a body pillow for me was more of a protector, because I used to keep it on the side of my bed so I wouldn't get dragged underneath the bed by a monster. So that was kind of like my wall. It was kind of my barrier.
Okay.
So it was something that kept me safe. So that's what I correlate a body pillow with. It's not really something I cuddle with. It's something that keeps me safe. Still to this day, if I had a body pillow, you better believe I'm putting it on the back wall where there's a little bit of a crease or a I don't know, not a hole, but what do you call it, Cole?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. A small gap between the mattress and the framing of the bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
That small gap, you don't know what's going to get you. So in that small gap, that's where the body pillow would go.
Two things that you brought up there that I find to be absolutely perfect is I've never thought of a body pillow as something that would bring up trauma. I always think of a body pillow as something of comfort, but okay, fair enough. That brings up trauma for you. And two, the idea that you use it basically as a barrier, that is even better. Like that explains it all. Like you did everything you needed to in the way of explaining that to the audience, to where a body pillow can be traumatic for you because it brings you back to a time when you were using it as a barrier, as a wall, a shield that was keeping away the monsters in the darkness. But
exactly,
John, that was not the way I was anticipating that going. All I was going to say is Michelle got me a new body pillow for Christmas, and I just recently got the cover on it, and this thing is awesome. Like what I do, John, and there's a technique to this, right? So I got two pillows that are under my head, and I kind of slide the top pillow a little bit off of the bottom pillow so that there's a little bit of a gap. And I'm mostly laying my head on the bottom pillow, or the top one rather, but it's propped up a little bit by the bottom pillow, so my neck's at a little bit of an angle. And I know that doesn't sound like the most comfortable thing, but it works for me. And as I'm doing this with my arm, for those of you watching on YouTube, this is something that I am able to slide my arm in between the two pillows, and I like sleeping on my arm. I don't know what it is. It's just something I've done my whole life. And then I slide the body pillow right up against my chin, and I just, I'll throw like a leg over it or whatever. And that's exactly the way that I need to fall asleep every night. I don't know what it is, but it works.
Cuddle the body pillow. That's what it is. You
yeah. Me and the body pillow might as well be in a relationship. Like, it should be Facebook official.
I don't mind that. Jacked and Canned body pillow. We might have to create a handle for it. One day, if we ever get big, Cobes, we're going to have to introduce that. Watch, somebody's going to go and steal that and create it on us. Oh,
so John, I want to just bring up real quick before we move on that, and I know you're going to agree with me here, or at least I think you will. I guess I haven't ever asked you, but I love Ryan Reynolds. Do you love Ryan Reynolds?
I do, and I see him more now than I ever have before. Obviously, I think he got, I don't know, to another level once he went to those Daredevil, help me out, man. Deadpool movies, thank you. When he went to welcome. Deadpool and he got into those movies, it just brought him to another level because all the Marvel fans and all that whole thing just saw him, and obviously I would call him as a comedic actor, like not a comedian, right? I don't know if he's ever done stand-up or if he was.
No, John, the thing is anybody that's an actor, they're typecasted to a certain personality type, right? And I think that out of everybody, because even Ryan Reynolds is involved in this, where there's no actors that just get to full-blown do whatever the hell they want for the most part. They are typecasted. The only guys that really get to do whatever they want are guys like Leo. Like, Leo can do whatever he wants. He can just pick and choose, like, hey, this is what I want to be today. Everybody else, they are in a category where they have to go do some type of role that is very specific to a particular person. And Ryan Reynolds is no different. But I think Ryan Reynolds might have the funnest role, because Ryan Reynolds gets to be the funny guy that's also a dickhead. And he also gets to be the guy that is the action hero. That is a really cool lane to be in. And I think that Ryan Reynolds is crushing it. Me and Michelle watched this movie called Red Notice with him and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson recently.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's very good, and I won't give you any spoilers, John, but he is full-blown the Deadpool character, the character from Waiting. He's all of the same characters that he's been in every movie he's been in, with the exception of the Amityville Horror. But it's one of those where I really enjoyed just watching him be himself, because that's what he is best at. And granted, every one of these actors is, because Robert Downey Jr. has a little bit of that too, does he not?
Robert Downey Jr., yeah. I would say the other person that kind of freestyles. Tom Cruise, but I was going to say Johnny Depp, because he's on his own.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you that. The Johnny Depp does do a little bit of the freestyle, because I saw that what you were doing, what I were doing were two different things. So yes, Johnny Depp can do a little bit of everything, because I've seen him be everything from serious to totally off the bleeping walls. Like there's some roles that he's doing, and I'm like, who are you? Like, I'm curious to know what Johnny Depp is like as a person because I don't know.
Yeah, he does freestyle. And back to the point, like you were saying, like Robert Downey for sure. He does follow that kind of like
Robert
structured.
Downey, he does a little bit of the same kind of roles that a Ryan Reynolds does. He's always going to be a dickhead. He's always going to be somebody that's cocky at all points. And that's why I brought up Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is just going to be the same person doing a different role, whether it be a lawyer, a bartender. He's always going to be the same guy.
Sean Penn, the dude.
Oh God, Sean Penn. Yes, he's definitely one particular person at all times.
Always. So there's some people that's always fit in that role, dude. I totally get that, man. I was gonna say I've seen Ryan Reynolds more and more because of those Mint Mobile commercials. Like they seem like they're everywhere, like YouTube.
I haven't actually seen the commercial.
You've never seen one? They're all over Hulu.
No, I know that they're happening. I'm very aware of that because I know you've told me about them several times, but I have yet to see one myself. But I don't watch a lot of network television, John.
I don't have network TV. I haven't had network TV in 7 years. It's all over YouTube.
How the hell are you seeing it?
Because it's on YouTube. He's on podcasts. It's on freaking Hulu. It's on anything. I have everything with ads.
Me and Michelle have Hulu. I don't feel like I've seen a Mint Mobile ad.
I have just regular ads. I don't know. Unless it's probably that scheduled or that certain type of marketing where they're listening in on you. Because Rose has Mint Mobile.
So I was going to say, now that we're talking about it, we'll probably get nothing but Mint Mobile ads for the next 6 months. Can't wait.
Oh my God. Thanks. I hope you get one tonight.
No, we're not going to be watching Hulu tonight. That's not how this night's going. So, John, let me tell you a little bit about my day.
Yeah.
So me and Michelle got to do all sorts of fun stuff. We went to TGI Fridays, which, by the way, just in case anybody was wondering, if you go to TGI Fridays, just get the ribs. They're always phenomenal. It's worth spending the money. You're not going to walk away disappointed. I don't know what else to tell you. Get the ribs at TGI Fridays. We then went to Dave and Buster's, John. So,
yeah.
John, you and I have gone there to lunch several times over, and we've always enjoyed the experience. They have pretty good food. But I had never until tonight played any of the games. So we made this work. We went to the bar, we got ourselves a beer, and then we went and we just played games. And we did everything, man. We did this thing where you're throwing a football. We threw like these little targets. We were knocking over with just like round balls, just knocking over
those little clown things.
Pretty much. They might have actually been clowns. Honestly, I'm not sure. I wasn't paying too much attention to what I was hitting. I was just making sure I hit them. We were shooting hoops for a little bit in there. We did Hungry Hippos. Michelle didn't realize you had to sit on the hippo, so she was just standing next to the hippo while doing it. And then I came up with 20 more points than her, and she was like, wow, you did pretty good. And then later on in the night, she's like, oh, babe, we did it wrong. You're supposed to sit on the hippo. I'm like, oh, I was. That explains everything. I'm sure you would have probably whooped my ass if you were just simply sitting on the hippo.
That is awesome.
Yeah, we had a blast, man. We did a little bit of all the games. And John, I'm going to tell you, I think sometime me and you are going to have to go down there and play some of the games. And one thing that made me laugh too, John, is remember when we did Nomad's Adventure Quest and we went and did the Connect 4 basketball?
Oh my God, that was a blast. That was so much fun. Ladies and gents,
she had seen that there, and she was like, oh, that's basketball, but it's Connect 4. And I was like, yeah, me and John did that. He's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not great at it. It kept bouncing all around. You ended up winning,
John. I will mention though, Michelle beat me by a bucket at the basketball tonight. Granted, I will admit that my first 7 or 8 shots, I was shooting way too hard, so they were going everywhere. But I mean, Michelle beat me fair and square.
I heard bull crap in the background, so yeah, dude, she dominated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no. She did win by 1 bucket. She's just giving me the
dominated
because we're 2 competitive people.
Because she's electric.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was whooping my ass at almost everything tonight, John.
Air hockey?
We didn't get a chance to do air hockey. That table was very well hogged by this attractive couple that just wanted to sit there and play air hockey all night.
Well, I don't blame them.
Did you hear that?
No.
She said they were pretty.
Oh, that's awesome. So shout out to the pretty people playing air hockey at Dave & Buster's over there in CT land.
But then after that, we didn't stop, John. This wasn't the end of the night. We went to Market Grill, had a nice time there, got ourselves a couple of drinks, had our bartender / my softball coach, and I realized something that was / one of Michelle's very best friends. And we had a moment tonight that I realized this is true as I thought it was. I had brought up softball, and it was warm today. It got up to about 65. It was awesome.
Dude, that was great. And then there's going to be 10 inches of snow on Friday.
I got to wear short sleeves. Yeah, I know. We're going to get a shit ton of snow. I know it sucks. But I brought up to him, I was like, softball's coming. And he had made some mention of it. He had said that he got an email about it and everything. And for whatever reason I brought up, I said, the only reason I'm even still on this team is that I brought a guy that's a great leadoff hitter and a shortstop. And he just died laughing. And I'm like, shit, that's the only reason I'm on this team. I brought a guy that's a great leadoff hitter and a shortstop. I'm terrible. So needless to say, I'm still psyched about softball. Just because I'm not that great at it does not mean that I'm not excited about it.
You're excited for the season to start up. When does that?
Oh, my God. I know. I think it starts up. Yeah, you know what? I think it starts up mid-May. I'm pretty sure that's when it kicks off. But I'll wait to hear that. Actually, that same guy might be coming over later, so he will probably be able to give me a little bit closer details of that. So that would be awesome if I get an idea of that, because I really do want to know, and I'm excited as hell for softball season. Now, John, there are a few other things about today that I want to cover, but I don't want to do them just yet. I think they're better set for the second half of this episode.
So, well, I got a topic for you then.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. John, what do you have for me tonight?
So you know how the world is going kind of crazy right now. I turned on the news for the first time.
No, world's not going crazy. What are you talking about?
There's a lot of stuff going on. I did see network news. By turn on the news, I mean I typed it in on Google. And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, things are getting real in some countries over there. So anyhow, Colbs, the question to you, if something popped off in America, what would be the state that you would want to bunker down in? What would be the one restaurant where you would just eat at? And what would be the one place you do for entertainment? And we're assuming this in a not apocalyptic kind of sense, but just you're stuck in a certain area.
Okay. If I'm picking out of any area that I could be in, it would be the southern part of South Carolina / northern Georgia, right around Savannah, where that would be the place that, because that's kind of where I want to retire to, that would be the place that I would want to bunker down, not because I feel safer there, but mostly towards your third part of that question, to where the establishments and what areas for entertainment that I would want. And I think that I get everything I want there. As far as what restaurant that I would want most, I mean, I think this one's going to be fairly obvious. I want Chili's. I don't care what's going on in the world. If everything's going to hell, if there's still a Chili's around, I'm going to find it. And the reason for entertainment, so I'm not necessarily big on a particular like chain establishment for my means of entertainment. I mostly get that through what I get. I mean, honestly, I get my daily entertainment from the Dan Le Batard show with Stu Gatz, but beyond that, I mean, I just need, for the most part, sports and somewhere to go be social. It doesn't matter where. And, you know, I could also make an argument for Chili's for this. So this is something where this might just be like 3-part Chili's. Like, I'm going to bunker down in a Chili's, I'm going to eat at a Chili's, and I'm going to get my entertainment at a Chili's. Like, this might all work in the same location. But chances are, if I'm being realistic, I'm probably bunkering down right where I am, because I don't have any intentions of being not here in the near future. So I would have to venture to say that Michelle and I would probably bunker down right here. I would still go to Chili's, And for entertainment, I'd probably go to Chili's and entertain myself.
Somewhere I would want to go, Maine, because you're in the middle of nowhere. And who the hell's going to go to Maine? Right?
Michelle said I set high expectations. I'm sorry. Continue.
So Maine for me, entertainment-wise, just a bootleg cinema. Restaurant-wise,
a bootleg cinema?
Yeah, just something like not even like an actual movie theater, like one of those like cafe movie theaters.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you had yourself like pulling into like some dude's driveway and he's just playing a movie on a projector screen against his garage door.
Colbs, I'm into that. So I might take back my first choice and I might go that way. So that could be a very real possibility. And I want to be at a little place for entertainment, sort of like that movie Shaun of the Dead, the Winchester, that pub. Give me a pool
that's
table.
That's not bad. Yeah,
right?
A nice little pub like that. That would be a great place for. Like we got the pub too over here in East Hartford, South Windsor, whatever border that's at. It's at the border of the two towns. I don't know which one it's in. But that would be a great place to hunker down there. I mean, if you just say like, hey, I want to hunker down and have entertainment and they have good food, John. I mean, we could get all three from the pub too. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, we'll slap a sign on there that says the Winchester when everything goes to hell. And that'll be what we establish ourselves at. And we could be the entertainment.
We could be the entertainment. Ladies and gents, join us. Join us. We'll be back with the entertainment. Cracking a cold with Colbs after this. Be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cracking a Cold One with Colbs. This is the segment where I drink a beer while John tells the audience something that he finds fun or interesting. John, try to make it something where you're not asking me a question this time while I'm drinking a beer, please.
Yeah, but Colbs, that's always what I do, don't I?
I hate you.
Colbs, dude. All right. The Olympics. The Olympic Games drew the lowest ratings ever from the United States. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot behind that, John. One of which is that the Winter Olympics itself is not something that's particularly entertaining to the audience. We're also in a global pandemic, so the Olympics doesn't sound like the best thing in the world right now. It was done in China, which has its own entire separate political viewpoints right now as far as what people's beliefs go with. And I'm not here to have that discussion with you, but there's a lot going on that is not at all shocking to me.
Crazy. But I saw that. Is it going to get to the point where the Olympics just end up disappearing? I don't think so because it's
no, me neither. And also the summertime Olympics are also significantly a bigger deal than the wintertime Olympics. I think that the Winter Olympics typically are going to rate probably less than half of what the Summer Olympics do. So come 2024, when we get the Summer Olympics, they'll be fine.
Fair enough, man. But that's what I had for you.
Okay, so cracking a cold one. So, John, something I didn't tell you about my experience at Market Grill tonight. We went to Market Grill and had a very nice time, but for whatever reason, I went to the bathroom, and while I was taking a piss, there was a guy that walked up and, he had to take a piss too. So he stood next to me and took a piss. And as he walked up, for no reason at all, I just turned and stared him right in the eyes as he went and started taking his dick out. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? Like, why was that my reaction? And also, I'm standing like 8 inches back from this thing. For some reason, I'm parachuting my piss into this urinal. And I'm staring at this guy right in the eyes. And it was the most awkward thing that I think I've ever done in my life. And I have no discernible reason for why it was that I did this. But I just locked eyes with the guy while I was in midstream. And it just doesn't make any sense. I wish I had a way to like go around it and be like, oh, yeah, I was just thinking. No, I wasn't thinking anything. I just wasn't thinking. And I just locked eyes with the guy. And that's like a bathroom mishap rule. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's a big no-no in the bathroom lingo, the bathroom language. It's a courtesy thing. So what happened? Did the guy like stare you back down? Like, did you say anything?
Oh, no, he looked at me for about 1 second to realize that I was staring him right in the eyes. And then he just turned his head the other way because that's just not something anybody does. So honestly, he probably thought I was a serial killer.
he went from, oh, this is awkward to, okay, I'm a little scared and I'm not going to say anything.
I think he skipped the awkward stage and just went straight to, I think I'm in danger. Like, what would you do, John? Like if you didn't know me and you just came up next to me and you started having your urinal cycle take place, and as you look over, the guy next to you is just staring you right in the eyes, and it's me, and I'm just...
Well, for me, I would probably, because I'm awkward, I'd probably engage in some sort of conversation. I'd be like, hey.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you would do well with that because you can make a conversation out of anything.
I'd be like, hey, how are you? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Oh,
how the hell are you, guy?
Yeah. How you doing? But that's just my kind of style. So yeah, Colbs, that's probably something that I would end up doing, to be honest with you. So is it weird? Yeah, I guess. But is it that weird? Maybe not.
I think it was pretty weird. I'm judging myself at this point. I'm standing here and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm as good of a person as I want to be. Like I just did something I'm very non-proud of.
It had you questioning what your
who am I?
Were.
What am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going?
I like it. Oh hell! What are some of the other topics we got?
Michelle just broke out a Cotton Eye Joe from the background. I guess I never put together that song was entirely meant to just ask those questions.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Kinda. Oh yeah, damn.
yeah. Now that you think about it, right?
Yeah,
it does. It kind of just asks all those questions.
See, you don't need to do much to make a big hit. You really don't.
So, John, now I have to make mention of the neighbors because I don't want to move forward with my life without bringing this up on this show.
No. Oh no.
So, for years, we have gone through having these conversations, from them stealing Michelle's planters, dumping out her soil, from them making their home improvement projects start up at 9 p.m., being a pain in her ass. Michelle's got a thing with them with the visitor parking that, even though I personally don't think is as much of a problem as she does, she very much does, as she is still iterating in the background. And the other day, they had been working on a flooring project for the entirety of the day. Evidently, I was at work. I wasn't here for it. But Michelle had gone out and I had gotten home and I didn't have any knowledge of this going on. And when Michelle comes home, she hears them still doing this project, because you can hear drills, saws, hammers, you can hear everything. And she just launches out, "Are you bleeping kidding me?" And very soon thereafter, we got a ring on the doorbell. Oh. And it was the guy that lives next door asking me, "Hey, we're just finishing up. Would it be okay if we go till 10:30? I look at the clock. It's about 9:25. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We're not going to be asleep before then. Which I think Michelle was a little bit disappointed in me for even giving the okay for that. I think she wanted me to just hammer him down right then. But yeah, she's...
I love the fear that they have in you to come up and say, "Hey, can we continue?"
It's not the fear in me that they have, John. It's the fear in her. So they continue their project till about 11, goes a little bit past, but Michelle was already asleep by this point. And my thought, I know, babe, I'm getting there. You're not letting me get there. Michelle was already asleep. So I was like, okay, if I can just like quietly make my way up the stairs, go to bed, if she stays asleep, everything's good. So I wasn't going to just sit stationary because I thought about it. I'm like, I know if I don't move, she's not going to wake up more likely than not. But I ended up making the move upstairs and that didn't wake her. So I was like, okay, we're in the clear. They can keep doing their thing, even though it's annoying as shit because they said they'd be done by 10:30 and it's now, at this point I'm looking at it, it's like 11:30 or so. I'm like, you know what? That's okay because she's still sleeping. And when I go to bed, this ain't going to keep me up because I sleep like a brick. But they get to a point where it's like it had to have been about 1 a.m. and they're still going. And all of a sudden, I don't just hear Michelle's footsteps like she's going up the bed. I hear Michelle's footsteps followed up by her hammering the wall with her flat hand, just going up there, slapping the shit out of the wall and just yelling. I'm like,
upstairs
okay.
or downstairs?
Downstairs. She's downstairs. I'm upstairs in my room playing a game of Madden. I'm like, shit. I got to do something now. So I come downstairs and she is just yelling through the wall. Like the wall might as well not have been there. Like they can probably hear me right now as I'm doing this, but I'm doing this in a more gentle tone. Michelle was legitimately screaming through the wall. So I'm like, do you need me to go over there? It's like, yep. Like, okay, I'll go over there.
Oh my God, so I go 1:30?
Yeah, it was like 1:30 by the time I ended up being over there, and I'm knocking on the door. And keep in mind, by the way, I had to get up at like 6:30 for work.
Oh,
like this was not like one of those days where I was like, oh, that was Sunday. Oh, so I had to get up at 5:30. Never mind.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a little backstory on Kolbs. This dude he elects not to try to go to bed. Me, on the other hand, literally after we're done recording,
that's a good mention,
I go to bed.
John. Yes, I try. Literally,
I go to bed, and Kolbs is like, "Yeah, I'll probably be up another hour or two, and I'm gonna play a game of Madden." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm going to bed, homie." Literally, I close my laptop, I lay down, I might put on a show for 10 minutes, and I'm lights off.
Yeah, as soon as we're done recording tonight, John will be in bed. I will be up for probably another 2 or 3 hours.
Yes, 100%. Anyhow, you go over there.
I go over there and I'm knocking on the door and I'm getting nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know if they're being assholes, if they're scared of this, or if they just don't simply hear me because I'm knocking on the door. So you know what? They rang my doorbell. I know they got a baby, and so I'm trying not to wake the baby, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll ring the doorbell. So I don't know if you can hear Michelle from the other room, but she is making a lot of commentary. So I ring the doorbell and they answer the door and I'm like, hey, I get it. You're doing a flooring project. This isn't easy. I just did one of these at this point about half a year ago, but I just did one of these not too long ago. It's a pain in the ass. I get it. You want to make sure everything's done, but it's 1 a.m, dude. I got to get up early and I made this shit up, but I was like, I'm already asleep. And I just got woken up by my wife. You're married, right? It's like, yeah. Well, so you get it. So knock it off. If she's up, I'm up. Stop.
What'd he say?
Oh, we just finished. Oh, convenient. Like, of course, right? But yeah.
So wait. They just finished.
Yeah.
So they probably have Michelle banging on the wall, and they're like, "Oh, she's happy for us. She's celebrating because she knows that I don't think that was the
thought that was going through her head or their head. I think that the thought that they had was holy shit because like I'm being good cop in this good cop bad cop scenario, and I have like if I go bad cop, things are going to get really really shitty for everybody. But I take a lot to get to that point. Michelle does not. Michelle will just go there. And Michelle she was already there. She just wasn't I offered to go across or next door rather. If it was not, if I didn't offer that, her ass would have been over there and she would have been using their saws to tear their bodies into limbs. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. She did mention right before I went over there, I'm about to lose my shit. And I thought she had already lost her shit, so I didn't want to know what was going to happen next. So that was me being somewhat protective man friend of sorts.
I like that. A protective man friend of sorts. Oh my God, I have to use that.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a protective man friend, don't look any farther than Jacked and Canned.
Yeah, well, no, you know what? I'm not even gonna post myself out there because right now that's gonna like she's not gonna hear the context on this. And if I just say I'm out for service to be your protective man friend of sorts, she's probably not gonna find that as funny as you do, John.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, manfriendservice.com. It's gonna be a new freaking
John, thing. The saga continues.
Who knows what you're going to supply as a man-friend service?
No, there is no service. There is no man-friending. There is no anything. Oh, I'm not man-friending, whoring myself out to anybody.
What's the next topic?
Next topic that I got, John. I wanted to talk just a little bit more about my day today.
Yeah, because talk to us.
Oh, wow. John, keep that picture up because it's actually perfect for this. So that man that you're looking at right there became old. And today I went to the chiropractor with Michelle. So the other day at work, I did the math out, and I moved over 15,000 pounds worth of product.
Jesus.
And yep. I want you to think about that. Harbor that in for a second. Just bring it in. Just soak it into your essence. So John, I moved all that weight and my back has been absolutely killing me. We went to the chiropractor today.
Oh, no.
And he did something to me that I'm pretty sure I orgasmed on the table.
Feeling good or was it bad?
Well, John, typically an orgasm does feel good. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and say that it felt good.
I'm thinking like bones and joints and like.
Yeah, it felt great.
I've seen some crazy disturbing videos of like people's necks.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. He got a good one on my neck, too. But my neck wasn't even bothering me. That was just a bonus. Like this dude, he basically, he might as well have done the whole job of finishing me and wiping it dry. Like he did everything that I needed. This guy, he cracked I had this thing on my lower left side of my back, and he cracked my hip in that specific spot, right in the SI joint. And I'm telling you, he ripped this thing in a way that immediately I was like, oh my God, I'm better. I'm healed. I swear, John, this was the best service that I have ever gotten. And I don't just mean from general chiropractics, but I mean anything beneficial to my physical health in my life. This guy fixed everything. Like, I'm pretty sure right now, if I wanted to, I could build a great wall if needed.
Damn, son. That's random.
I'm going to go into work tomorrow and I'm going to be able to lift another 15,000 pounds. And it's because of this man. So I'm not even going to shout him out because I don't want to make it public just in case any of the material that I used by the using of the word orgasm might be something he doesn't want put with his name. But we have a great chiropractic doctor here in Manchester, Connecticut, that anybody that's coming this way, if you need a chiropractor, I know the guy. I know the guy.
How much is those
services? $50
a visit?
Yes, $50. And yes, Michelle mentions he's so sweet. He is actually also the nicest person that I've ever met, maybe even including you. And you are also somebody I would have in that running. It's literally you, this guy, and Tim Kirchin, who is a baseball insider.
Dude, freaking, I might have to go, man. I've always been so curious about it. But
John, like you could probably use it because tall people typically have a lot of issues with what it is that they feel, specifically in the back. I mean, yeah, he does stuff for the knees too. He does this thing where you lay flat on your back and he pulls your knees, or he pulls like from your feet and just pulls, and it can pop your knee, your hip. It can pop all that stuff and John, in all seriousness, I think this would be beneficial for you.
Kolbs, help me out. So this is your first time going to a chiropractor. Everybody,
this is not my first time going to a chiropractor. This is probably
the first time that you go. Don't
time.
You have to get X-rays?
No, you do not have to get X-rays.
Okay, I always thought there was like some sort of I don't know, like a medical science or some sort of
no. X-rays are something that happens when you go to a X-ray specialist, and they charge like $200 for you to get that service done.
I didn't know if you needed that first, just in case if like a high risk. So Kolbs, you're basically teaching this to me and anybody that's tuning in right now that doesn't know, that's been contemplating, because I'm genuinely contemplating. Ladies and gents are definitely contemplating after how you just said you're feeling awesome. I feel like everybody has to go then.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I think it's beneficial to almost everybody. And granted, I would not suggest to go on a regular basis, because I think that there, like most things in life, there's a thing as of going too much. There's a dependency that then occurs in the body because your body gets used to having that adjustment. But I think that going like I typically do twice a year, I think that that's perfect. You go twice a year, you get hooked up. Yeah, I mean, he told me today what he had told me, and granted, I don't think he even remembers this, but from the 5-6 times that I've gone to him, this was the furthest out of whack that I have been from what he told me, and I feel fine right now. Like, I feel like I could go lift my car if I wanted to.
Interesting. You have me tempted, Chobano.
John, I'm telling you, it's worth it. And by the way, if you're creeped out by the neck thing, you could tell the chiropractor, hey, just don't mess with my neck, and they won't. Like, it's not something where you're like obligated. It's not like you're going down like a zip line where there's only one thing that you can say yes or no to. Like, this is something where if you just wanted to work on your back, your hips, your knees, your legs, and granted, when I say all that, it's very brief. The whole thing takes less than 10 minutes in all seriousness. Like, we're not talking about a long stretch of things. All I'm saying is that I have had a heat surge going through my lower left back for the rest of today, and it's just it's relief is what it is, John. It's gone. Like, all the pain that was there is now dissipated, and it's become like almost a tingling sensation. It's not because I'm about to be like paralyzed. It's because that weight has been lifted off of not my shoulders, but my lower left back specifically. Very, very regionally accessible.
Well, you have me seriously tempted now to go over there and go research this and get it done. So, Kolbs, we might have to go together. You might have to come with me and literally hold my hand.
You're gonna have to wait 6 months, buddy, because I don't sit here and book these appointments for like, hey, let's go next week. No. I just went today. We're talking another 6 months before I go again.
All right, 6 months it is then. 6 months it is. Kolbs.
Michelle did just mention she is one of these people that does go on a regular basis. So if you want to go with her, I will go with you if you need me to hold your hand.
Fair enough, man. Dude, Kolbs, do we have anything else that we want to get to before we go ahead and wrap up the pod for today?
We'll go ahead and wrap it up. I've got a little bit of just Madden talk, but it's really not anything that I think is actually that interesting. It's just some things that I came across. So, you know what, John? Let's go ahead and call it quits here tonight. John, go ahead and plug us. Do what you do on a regular basis here. Rate, subscribe.
Jacked and canned. Review. Rate, subscribe, leave a review. Keep listening is the big
John,
one.
By the way, I just rated us on Spotify, and it turned out I was the first rating we got on Spotify. I know we've gotten ratings, but apparently never on Spotify.
You're the first, so we need a second. Go over there, rate, review, subscribe. Let us know what you think. If we suck, I guess let us know. If we rock, I guess let us know. Just do it. Like Nike, I guess. I don't know. I'm not stealing their logo. I guess I just did. I'm not trying to.
You're in for a lawsuit. Thanks, John.
Kolbs, what the hell is this? Actually, don't say what we are because we can't afford a lawsuit. Just okay. Bye. This is